with Guto in 2018. And one thing that we saw yesterday were 4 Brazilian players who are incredibly proud to be playing on home soil in front of home fans. Vitor Felipe, the target to get us under. Georgian Andre took a 25th in Sochi. 23 of the world's top 20 are here. That was Taylor Crabb playing with Taylor Sander, who's made that move from indoor volleyball to the beach. Line play with a bird's eye view as we were playing with water after an injury to Pablo Herrera, but they will be going against Spain for the next 3 years. Big blocking. This is something we saw yesterday. Really low in. And there's a break apiece here for both teams early on. From the inside, shot for the left-sider, but at 6'7", 2 meters 1 centimeter, he will have more angles than shorter players. Well, Brazilian volleyball has all been built around distant touches into good zones, but Andre and Georgia, one team who do tend to bend those philosophies slightly, and they're a bit more flat. Renato serving. They've had some good wins on the way through. A win against the jump-setting Swedes, David Almond and Jonathan Helvig, but also the Olympics, Azad and Caprogrosso. George serving, also undefeated. Only one game going to 3 sets. This week with a 5th. Best ever chicken wing from the floor, though. Insistent. Renato looking to try and work a little bit. Had nothing powerful. 3 wins on the World Tour for Vitor Felipe, looking for his first major win since 2013. And funny enough, his last win from Qatar, and 3rd on the podium was Mathias Berntsen and Anders Mol from Norway. 4th was Christian Sorum and Svein Solhag. So certainly in. Renato, who's been incredibly impressive, technically very, very good. Short plays, obviously, but just as impressive. Vitor Felipe through the seam this time, long before. Vitor Felipe looking to get back on the top of the podium. Good year for Vitor Felipe then. And still seems to have time on his hands. And talking of people that has time on his hands to get in and hammer that 2-ball is Rafael Lima, but it's at the age group competitions where he's really shone. Last time he won was 2019 against Jacob Windisch and Alberto Di Silvestre from Italy. Lead by 1, looking for the short ball. Vitor Felipe serving deep over the shoulder of Andre, who's had most of the service pressure so far, but he has this ability to still come in. Vitor Felipe once again the target. They've decided to jump in angle quite often on Vitor Felipe, but they've got their block. He's very fired up in the semis. Now he's being subdued, going back to the line. It's Andre and George, who took a 3rd place in Ostrava earlier. Well, the second half of the opening set is underway. Not much between them, but there is a break up, but that's also just been countered by Victor. George and Andre had. Oh, 2 in a row. Really, for 2 in a row, the hand setting has just gone astray. This one's gone right the way. 3-point swing at a very, very good time for Vitor Felipe and Renato. That's good from George. Off the net cut shot. He's underneath. He has to find something from nothing. And Brazilian fans enjoying every moment of this one. Rightfully so. They're accustomed to beach volleyball. Carambula and Enrico Rossi. Speaking to Carambula in the week, can't wait for that one to get started. Their plan is to go to Brazil for the off-season and work through some stuff with what Carambula said, one of the great minds of all time. Bump set slightly wide. And the setting for Georgian, you have to wonder what's going on here, because it's been a sloppy start post-technical timeout for what was a very consistent performance. Better this time. And Brazil actually hold 8 of the top 10 international career leaders in victories when it comes to World Tour volleyball. Probably imagine that Phil Dalhouser and Todd Rogers are the two non-events than Emmanuel Rigo. Larissa on the women's side of things, 62 victories, but Emmanuel 77. Off the hands this time, coming in straight. He can tool off the top of the fingertips. Reverse play this time for Vitor Felipe. Use that set well. Yes, there's a little bit tight. Has to go over line, and we're back all square again. George. Service into a good zone. Pass is also excellent. Vitor Felipe and gambles for the sharper attack. But what a serve! Vitor Felipe looking for his 13. There's no passing that one. This week, Agatha Duda already victorious in the women's competition in their last event, but who's going to join them at the top of the podium? It's a lefty swinger from on for the right-handed attack, and if he's hitting with the left hand, the angles are completely different. And the miss serve, it's what can only be described as a very to stand at the top of the podium. The future is already very bright for Renato. You can see with his technique, his arm, his athleticism. Can't get that one. Knuckle over the top from Andre. Technically has the lot. Athletically as well. Brings George Wanderley back to the service line. Big hammer serve. Renato from the left side. Tries to go off the hands. Chases on. What a touch from George. It's a high free ball. It's gone very, very short. Vitor Felipe may flirt with the second ball. It's a knuckles. 2-point game. Over in the driving seat. Those couple of handling errors midway through the set. Costly for Brazil. But Andre serving with power to try and catch up. Great scoop from George. 2 great bits of defense in succession. Matched from Renato. Overhand play. Oohs and ahs, of course. Andre to the line. Go on. And 2018. There couldn't be much more on the line. Hands up defensively. With the break on the block from Andre to serve. Another spin serve to the center. Renato the target. They've gone after the youngster to see how he is under pressure, and he's answered. Have their first set point. Good position cross. 1 point separate. Serve on Renato once more, and 2 clutch side outs in succession. Played under this sort of pressure before. You don't. Second set point. George Wanderley the target. Andre puts it in the slot and they save a side out. Remember, Andre Lodes more and Christian saw him. We knew this was going to be close, but my word. It's nice setting from Vitor Felipe. Almost has to turn all around and use it as a back set. Free ball. Knuckle away from the body in the block. Molsodom won this competition the last time it was held in 2019. It's another miss serve. That's twice that. Serve to Renato again. 2 miss serves from Renato, now he's been blocked. Something had to get. With the ball in hand here. Vitor Felipe goes back to the line. All evening long. This time from the left side, Andre away from the overtime. It's all Brazilian final. Passes off the net. Chance from the left side from Renato. Out of system. It's a colossal. Goes with the hybrid serve now. It's a good pass. It's in front of George Wanderley. The set's a little bit inside, but he works a little bit of magic with it. It's tight, so the knuckle has to come out, but it's a quick change of direction. It's a good serve. Short on Renato. It's another block on Renato, but the cover from Vitor Felipe is good. And that is an unbelievable... What are we even watching here? It's a cover, followed by a shuffle and a line bang. Away from the block defense. There's no defense. First at 27 then. And now look back. Andre is serving very well, going with the spin serve from the sideline to the outside of Renato. Slightly off the net. Coming and facing cross court. How? Here is key. He still fixes cross court. Hits the sea. Renato. Tension. Passing in system. Once again, something has to give here, surely. It's a break from Vitor Felipe. Is it going to turn around again? Yes, it is. Vitor Felipe. Great break, stays fairly stable with the defensive touch. Sets on point. Wide to the... George serving Renato. Surely this isn't going to change again. There's going to be a break. There's a big opportunity for a break. George Wanderley has earned the opportunity, and he goes off the hands of Renato. This is turning into a set to remember. Renato tries to pat for the space, baby line, but no, Wanderley is there, and then he goes. But it's been incredibly entertaining. Two ball from Vitor Felipe, and finally something has George and Andre, who have taken it just like that. As the second set gets underway, hopefully as entertaining as the first one. It's a good start from playing international men's volleyball in Brazil. Dates all the way back to 1987 in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, because Sinjin and Randy won 3 of the first 4, Karch Karai and Pat Powers taking the other victory in 1988, but in Rio de Janeiro beating, well, there's some big names, some legends of the sport, but that's a great touch. It's a knuckle over the top. High off the hand. Not having as many points as the likes of Alisson and Alvaro, Evandro and Guto. Lines open, and it's just trickled in from Only with the serve. Drops the ball in. Super short once more, and Vitor Felipe. Lines open. What a touch! Full stretch Superman dive. Overhand defense off the free ball. That's certainly allowed, and it's padded to the line. We want to remember Renato. The wrong side of... Serve from Andre, who has to penetrate to try and make a block. It's another fantastic dig. It really is in a good spot. They've done their homework here, because every time Renato goes on the reverse set, Renato winning 3 age group competitions. George Wanderley has also won 2 youth world champions. He took a 4th with Mateus Bernsen. Sitting on the line, George. This time it's a tactic they're using, and it's working. They have a 2-point. Blocking the angle, sitting so calmly on the line. That day beat Ukraine, Oleg Plotnitsky, if you remember, Ukrainian, who's now playing indoor in Italy as well. Seems like a long time ago now, as the jumbo play is a good one. Big serving. It's a change up on George Wanderley, and he sides out to the line for anyone. Big angle, arm has to really extend. He's had a good game. George Wanderley, that's for sure. Renato goes back to the seam on the back set again. Formation behind the deflection off the net, but should be a regulation side out, and it is again in the passing phase of the game. Sure, he sat in the right spot, just gets beaten. Andre, no block. Vitor Felipe makes the break. Serve to the inside. It means the back set. It's a smart move. He has to do a lot of work. You can see on the right-hand side of your picture to get across and try and put a block up. So overpass dealt with. Andre under pressure. Renato, how about that? More big jump serving. They very much have missed their fair share of serves, but they've stuck to their guns in terms of very high level. If you serve softly, it's going to be game over very, very. George again. Serving on Vitor Felipe. Stays into the sand with his stability, but there is a big bleed once again. Stays very still on the angle that time. Defensive systems at times. Oh, round, and it's exactly the same situation as the opening set, where Andre and George lead by one. They have one break. The Challenge Tour and also the Futures Tour as well. It's going to be a feast of beach. Andre will penetrate through here. Vitor Felipe, 2-ball, trying to beat the blocker for speed, and they do. Other tactics around seeing the cord and trying to pad around. Other tactics about hitting big angles away from the spiker. Other bits of work in this game about just staying really high. This time looking for defender. Deja vu maybe from the previous set. If it is, we could be here all day long. Spin serve to the middle. A smart placement from Vitor Felipe. And a smart placement from Andre. They've lost their break though. Oh, but they've gained it back even. On cue. Last time it tripped. Serve this time to the center. 2-point game. They need this one. There's only a block. Great cover from Renato though. Vitor Felipe, the ball's a little bit inside. Tries to tweak it back line. Renato. The serve to the sideline. Chance for Vitor Felipe to use the back set, beat the block for speed. See the finale of this one, because Andre and George will know that they have the hard work to do, and what a time to make a huge, huge serve to the inside hand. There's some pressure now. Side out at few and far between really for Vitor Felipe and Renato. A couple of handling errors in the first set. There's another block. Vitor Felipe's cover has been good all day today, and he's been smart. Short ball again on George Wanderley, trying to get him underneath the block, and once more around the block here, George Wanderley, and they're giving him the line over with the hope that back to the inside. Once again, chewed off the hands. It's a good high percentage swing. More spin serving. It's a great serve from Renato. Chancing Side out though, and it's really... Brazil have a lot of work to do. And both... George serving, more spin serves. Renato passes just slightly off the net, but it's tight. It gives a real big opportunity here to bring up gold medal points for Andre. And here is the first gold medal point for Andre and George, and they've done it. What a performance earlier on in the season for them in an incredible